moment that left fans across the globe shaken and emotional. Beloved actor and singer Xiao Zhan broke down during a live broadcast, his tears revealing a heartbreak far deeper than what anyone anticipated. The reason? A love story the world once rooted for, between Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo, now felt like a distant memory. And to Xiao, the man he once shared his world with had become nothing more than a stranger. The camera caught more than just a performance. It all began as a simple promotional event. Xiao Zhan was on set for an interview tied to an upcoming project. The mood was light. Laughter echoed between questions. But the atmosphere shifted dramatically when a fan innocently asked a question during the live Q&A. "What's your favorite memory with Wang Yibo?" Xiao paused. For a moment, he smiled, a small, soft, nostalgic smile that lingered like the fading light of a sunset. But that smile wavered. His eyes glazed. And then the silence stretched too long. The host tried to jump in, to reroute the conversation, but Xiao raised a hand gently. And then, in a voice that cracked under the weight of emotion, he whispered, "I don't even know if he remembers those memories anymore. Sometimes I wonder if he even remembers me." The camera rolled on, unblinking, as the tears began to fall. From soulmates to strangers. Once hailed as the epitome of chemistry, both on screen in The Untamed and off, Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo were inseparable. Their bond was magnetic, undeniable, and deeply cherished by fans who saw in them something rare, a connection that blurred the line between friendship and something more tender, more intimate. Behind the scenes, rumors swirled of late-night rehearsals that lasted longer than necessary, of glances that lingered, of words left unsaid. Xiao and Yibo never confirmed anything, but sometimes silence speaks louder than declarations. What fans didn't know was that behind the glittering facade of fame, things were beginning to crumble. Xiao Zhan, known for his poetic heart and quiet vulnerability, poured himself into the bond they shared. He nurtured it, protected it, even when the world speculated and judged. But fame changes people. And slowly, Wang Yibo began to drift, chasing new roles, new rhythms, and perhaps new hearts. "He's there, but he's not with me anymore." During the same emotional interview, Xiao revealed more than he perhaps intended. "He walks into a room, and my heart still stutters. But he looks at me now like I'm just another colleague. Like we never stayed up talking till dawn. Like I never held his secrets like glass, so carefully, afraid to let them break." That confession shattered the internet. Has Yibo truly forgotten the fire that once burned between them? Or has he simply buried it beneath the weight of career and expectation? While Wang Yibo has remained silent, his social media was flooded with pleas from fans. "Say something. He's hurting. Don't be a stranger." Fans react. Hashtag Xiaozhan heartbreak trends worldwide. The heartbreak was felt beyond the screen. Social media exploded with hashtags like hashtag Xiaozhan breakdown, hashtag he deserves better, and hashtag Yibo are you. Millions of fans took to platforms to share their heartbreak, their confusion, and their hopes for healing. One fan wrote, "To see someone as composed as Xiao Zhan cry on camera? That's not drama. That's grief. That's love slowly slipping through his fingers." Others were less gentle, blaming Yibo for the distance. Yet some reminded the world that we never truly know the battles people fight in silence. A love that still lingers. What remains now is the ache of what once was, and the question of whether it can ever be again. Xiao Zhan, raw and honest, ended the interview with a line that haunted fans long after. "He was once my home. Now I'm just walking past, hoping he remembers my name." Whether this is the end of their story, or simply a pause in a complicated chapter, no one can say. But one thing is certain, love doesn't always vanish. Sometimes, it just hurts in silence. And for Xiao Zhan, that silence may be the loudest heartbreak of all. The silence that screams. As the interview ended, Xiao Zhan bowed politely, wiping his tears with the back of his hand. But the damage was done, not to his reputation, but to the carefully constructed wall he had built around his heart. That wall cracked on live camera, revealing the raw, unfiltered truth. He hadn't moved on. The studio fell into an uneasy hush after the cameras stopped rolling. Staff offered him tissues, water, anything to bring him comfort, but Xiao Zhan simply shook his head and murmured, "I'm okay. I just needed to let it out." But he wasn't okay. And anyone who had ever loved deeply and lost silently could see it. Wang Yibo's silence, a message or a mystery. In the hours that followed, fans and media alike turned their attention toward Wang Yibo. Would he respond? Would he reach out? Or worse, would he pretend like nothing happened? But as the hours stretched into days, there was nothing. No post. No comment. Not even a subtle like on a fan tribute. The silence was deafening. Some speculated that Wang Yibo was simply overwhelmed, unsure of how to respond. Others weren't as forgiving. "You don't leave someone hanging when they bare their soul," a viral tweet read. "Even a stranger deserves more than silence. Xiao Zhan gave you his heart, and now he's crumbling." Still, longtime fans of the pair held on to hope. They scrolled through old videos of the two, moments of spontaneous laughter, subtle glances, inside jokes that spoke volumes, searching for signs that what they once had was real, that it wasn't one-sided. Behind the scenes, the story few knew. Insiders close to Xiao Zhan have started to speak up in hushed tones. One staffer from a recent drama set said, "He always checks his phone between takes. I thought it was out of habit, but one day I asked." He smiled and said, "Just waiting on a message that might never come." Another recalled how Xiao would casually bring up Yibo, his interests, his quirks, as if trying to keep a piece of him close. It's like he was trying to keep Yibo alive in his world, even if Yibo wasn't showing up in it anymore. The heartbreak wasn't just a moment on camera, it had been building quietly behind the scenes. "I still write to him." A private confession. In a follow-up interview done days later, though under the condition that it wouldn't air unless Xiao approved, he reportedly opened up more intimately. "I still write to him," he admitted, his voice soft. "Not messages I send. Just notes. Thoughts. Things I wish I could say. I don't know if I'll ever send them. Maybe I just need to believe someone's listening." That line, when leaked to the public by an anonymous source, sent fans into an emotional spiral. The idea that one of the most beloved stars in Asia was privately penning unsent love letters to a man who no longer looked his way was almost too much to bear. A turning point, or the final chapter. The world is now watching, waiting, not just to see whether Wang Yibo responds, but to see if Xiao Zhan can heal from a heartbreak he never expected to make public. Friends close to him have said he's been spending more time alone, retreating into nature, and diving deep into upcoming projects to keep his mind occupied. But one friend said something that struck a chord with fans. He doesn't need closure. He needs honesty. From Yibo. From himself. From the world. A legacy of love, even if unrequited. Whether Wang Yibo chooses to respond or remain silent, one thing is certain. Xiao Zhan's love was real. Brave. Beautiful. Painfully human. He didn't hide it behind rumors or gossip. He didn't deny the ache in his voice. He stood in front of millions and confessed what most people are too afraid to say even to themselves. "I loved him, and now I don't recognize him anymore." In the end, that kind of love, the unshakable, soul-deep kind, doesn't fade easily. And maybe, just maybe, the story isn't over. Maybe Wang Yibo is just lost in his own storm, trying to find his way back. But until then, Xiao Zhan will keep standing, broken but brave, carrying the weight of a love story that once lit up the sky and now flickers quietly in the dark. #StillWithXiao, #ComebackYibo, #LoveDoesn'tFade.